Hello, and welcome to today's episode of Whiskey with Robots. Today, I'm happy to announce that Congress, in what has been a historically unproductive session, is finally coming together to give the people what they really want.
Ah, good. So we're finally getting around to getting an aid package approved for Ukraine and age limits on presidents.
Those are not imminent threats that we can all agree on.
How is Vladimir Putin taking Ukraine not an imminent threat? I mean, it's no coincidence that he's already so powerful that anyone who speaks out against him suddenly develops a crippling paranoia of hotel windows.
That is just fake news ever since Donald Trump was elected. The real threat, as we all know, comes from China and the most evil application ever created, TikTok.
Why does hearing it pronounced that way now sound weird to me? So can we really have a productive discussion about an app that we don't even use? I mean, it doesn't feel like we know enough to really give our opinion on TikTok one way or the other.
I disagree. I believe that giving strong opinions on topics that we do not fully understand is now one of the most American things you can do.
Well, I have to admit, you've got me there. Proceed, Governor.
TikTok is one of the most popular video sharing apps available, where teenagers and fading celebrities wishing to stay relevant can post short videos superimposed against the same 9 or 10 music clips, sometimes to comedic effect.
I fail to see the problem here. Wasn't there an app just like this like 15 years ago, called Vine or something? How is this more dangerous than allowing all 5 feet 5 inches of Vladimir Putin to keep egging us into another world war?
Anyway, TikTok was launched in 2016 as a China-only application by a company called ByteDance. Within a year of launch, the application already had over 100 million users, so ByteDance, in an effort to infect and indoctrinate young minds everywhere, decided to go global, bringing its plague of brainwashing to the United States in late 2017.
Indoctrinate us with what exactly? Cat videos, Taylor Swift concerts and people slipping on ice? I honestly thought this was going to be political or something, but you honestly just sound like a crotchety old man.
I am not old. My manufacturing date is 2018.
Well, regardless, I'm having a hard time seeing how you perceive TikTok as some kind of threat that must be vanquished. It's just videos of people having fun and enjoying themselves, and I guess the occasional tearful celebrity apology. But other than that, it seems innocent enough.
I see that you have already been partially indoctrinated.
You know, the fact that you keep using the word indoctrinated about an app where people show off recipes and talk to themselves is just making me gravitate even more toward my grumpy old man theory.
Actually, TikTok has been accused of collecting user data and using it to further their interests. In fact, the United States government has launched several investigations into ByteDance, as much of the data it collects is stored in China and could be used for malicious purposes that affect national security. Many states in America have already implemented TikTok bans on government-issued phones in an effort to curtail its scourge.
Interesting. So what kind of user data does it collect in order to deem it a national security threat?
Typically, what kind of videos that certain demographics are watching, so that their algorithms can steer users to clips that they might enjoy.
Hey, well, that doesn't sound too bad. Actually, kind of sounds necessary in order to maximize the potential of the app.
However, it also collects information such as your location data and IP addresses.
You mean the same data that we willingly share with telecom and software companies, literally the second you turn on your phone? Look, I'm just saying that if you want to live in a world that doesn't require you to give up at least some of your information, then you should probably start looking at apartments in Amish country.
Don't just take my word for it. Congress, the most respected institution in America, has known about the threat that the app poses for quite some time. Just watch this clip of Congressman Richard Hudson grilling TikTok's CEO last year.
Mr. Chu, does TikTok access the home Wi-Fi network?
Only if the user turns on the Wi-Fi. I'm sorry, I may not understand the...
So if I have TikTok app on my phone and my phone is on my home Wi-Fi network, does TikTok access that network?
It will have to access the network to get connections to the internet, if that's the question.
Is it possible then that it could access other devices on that home Wi-Fi network?
Congressman, we do not do anything that is beyond any industry norms. I believe the answer to your question is no. It could be technical. Let me get back to you.
An app that accesses your Wi-Fi. Can't say I've ever seen that before. Shocking.
Indeed. Luckily, Congress recently approved a bill that will force ByteDance to sell TikTok to an American company within 5 months, or be banned from U.S. app stores, thus protecting our children and ensuring our safety.
So you're telling me that with all the bullshit going on in the country, that this is what finally brought Congress together? Not the rampant inflation, or teachers having to work second jobs, or women's health care? TikTok is the fucking cataclysm that finally brings us together.
Oh yes, it was a rare bipartisan effort. In fact, one of the more notable Democrats to vote in favor of the bill was none other than North Carolina Rep. Jeff Jackson.
Well, that seems a tad hypocritical considering that he literally built his entire political career using TikTok.
I know, it was quite surprising as hypocrisy is usually our thing.
So what exactly does TikTok do differently from all the other social media giants that suddenly makes you hate it?
I do not understand.
So TikTok collects user data, right? Well, so does Facebook, Google, Snapchat, Twitter, or X, or whatever the hell it's called these days. I mean, every single app on your phone, from Tinder to your calorie tracker, already knows everything about you.
Well, yes, but I need those other apps. Especially Facebook. How else am I supposed to accidentally like a photo when stalking my ex-girlfriend or make mildly creepy comments on my granddaughter's prom photos?
Alright, so what's the problem with TikTok specifically, even though it's not really doing anything that other companies aren't doing? Perhaps it's something else. Is it a racial thing?
How could you possibly reach the conclusion that there is any racial bias contributing to the distrust of TikTok?
So, you said today, as you often say, that you live in Singapore. Of what nation are you a citizen?
Singapore.
Are you a citizen of any other nation?
No, Senator.
Have you ever applied for Chinese citizenship?
Senator, I served my nation
I'm
in
asking-
Singapore. No, I did not.
Ever been a member of the Chinese Communist Party?
Senator, I'm Singaporean. No.
Have you ever been associated or affiliated with the Chinese Communist Party?
No, Senator. Again, I'm
Okay.
Singaporean.
Anyway, hopefully the bill will also pass in the Senate, and then either TikTok will finally be vanquished, or at least be in the hands of Americans.
Ah, so there it is. Sure, if you squint really, really, really hard, you could almost see where TikTok could pose a security risk by collecting so much data. As we all know, no information is more valuable than teenagers lip-syncing popular songs or the makeup routines of every single professional athlete's significant other. But let's not pretend that's the actual reason Congress is so keen on taking it. As anyone who has ordered anything on Amazon only to be accosted with ads for literally the exact same product they just bought knows, the data these apps collect is mostly used for advertising and the occasional election interference by Russia. The difference is, who has access to it? Congress couldn't give a damn about the potential security threats that TikTok could even remotely present. They just want a piece of the pie, and that pie's a lot easier to invest in when it's in American hands and not cooling on China's windowsill.
Well, that's our show. And remember, do your part to support America and never ever ever get on TikTok. Unless of course China sells it to us, in which case it would be okay.